Do you know what Roblox is? If you're a kid, you probably do. Roblox is like the biggest playground in the whole world. Except instead of swings and slides, it has millions of different games you can play on your computer or tablet. It's so big that 111 million kids play it every single day. That's more kids than live in most entire countries. Imagine if there was a magical playground where you could be anything you wanted: a superhero, a princess, a race car driver, or even run your own pizza restaurant. That's what Roblox is like. Kids can jump from game to game, play with friends, and even create their own games. It's pretty amazing when you think about it. But here's something important that grown-ups are worried about. When you have the world's biggest playground, sometimes people show up who shouldn't be there. You know how your parents always tell you about stranger danger, not talking to people you don't know, especially grown-ups who might want to hurt kids? Well, the same rules apply to online playgrounds like Roblox. What if I told you that 2 out of every 3 kids in America between ages 9 and 12 play Roblox? That means if you have 2 friends, probably 2 of you play this game. That's a lot of kids. And when there are that many kids in one place, unfortunately, some bad grown-ups try to find ways to talk to them. The problem isn't with Roblox itself. Remember, it's just a playground. The problem is that some people use this playground to do things they shouldn't do. It's like if someone came to your real playground and tried to get kids to come with them by offering candy or toys. That would be scary and wrong, right? Now you might be wondering, if this is such a problem, why don't the grown-ups just fix it? Well, that's what makes this story interesting and a little complicated. The people who own Roblox are trying to fix it, but it's really, really hard. Imagine you're a teacher watching over the world's biggest playground with millions of kids playing at the same time. How would you make sure every single kid is safe, every single minute? It's almost impossible. Here's what makes Roblox different from other games. Most of the games inside Roblox are made by regular people, not the Roblox company. It's like if kids could build their own sections of the playground and invite other kids to play there. Some kids might build really fun, safe games, but others might not know how to keep their games safe. The really tricky part is that on Roblox, kids can talk to each other through chat, kind of like passing notes in class, except these notes can be seen by anyone in the game. This is where the danger comes in, because bad people can pretend to be kids and try to trick real kids into thinking they're friends. I know this might sound scary, and you might be thinking, should I stop playing Roblox? But that's not what this story is about. This story is about understanding the problem so we can all work together to stay safe. It's like learning to look both ways before crossing the street. We don't stop crossing streets. We just learn how to do it safely. Over the next few chapters, we're going to learn about what exactly the problem is, how the Roblox company is trying to fix it, what happens when other people try to help, and most importantly, what kids and parents can do to stay safe while still having fun. Think of this as your guide to understanding why grown-ups are worried about Roblox and how everyone, kids, parents, and the company, can work together to make sure this amazing digital playground stays fun and safe for everyone. Let's talk about what's really happening that has grown-ups so worried. Well, imagine if some grown-ups came to that playground not to play, but to try to trick kids into being their friends. That's basically what's happening on Roblox, and it's called grooming. Now, grooming doesn't mean brushing your hair or taking care of a pet. When we talk about online grooming, it means when a bad grown-up pretends to be nice to a kid so they can eventually hurt them or get them to do things they shouldn't do. It's like if a stranger offered you candy every day after school, was super nice to you, and then one day asked you to come to their house without telling your parents. Here's how it typically works on Roblox. A bad person creates an account and pretends to be a kid. They might say they're 12 years old when they're actually 30. They look for real kids to talk to in games, and they start by being really, really nice. They might give the kid free stuff in the game, compliment them a lot, or act like they understand the kid better than anyone else does. The scary part is that these bad people are very good at this trick. They know exactly what to say to make kids feel special and important. They might say things like, "You're so much more mature than other kids your age," or I understand you better than your parents do. They're trying to make the kid trust them more than they trust their own family. Once they become friends with a kid, they start asking the child to keep secrets. They might say, "Don't tell your parents about our friendship, they won't understand." Or, "This is just between us." This is a huge red flag because real friends never ask you to keep your friendship a secret from your parents. The really dangerous part comes when these bad people try to get kids to move their conversations away from Roblox to other apps like Discord, Snapchat, or text messaging. Why do they do this? Because Roblox has people watching the chats to try to catch bad behavior, but these other apps might not. It's like if someone at the playground said, "Hey, let's go talk behind that building where the teachers can't see us." Sometimes, these bad people even try to meet kids in real life. They might say they want to be the kid's boyfriend or girlfriend. Or they might offer to take the kid somewhere fun like an amusement park or mall. In some very serious cases that have been in the news, these bad people have actually convinced kids to run away from home to be with them. One of the most shocking things that investigators have found is how common this problem is. When they look at Roblox, they find this kind of bad behavior happening all the time. It's not just a few bad people. There are thousands of them using Roblox to try to find kids to trick. But here's something important to understand. These bad people are good at hiding what they're doing. They know that if they're too obvious, they'll get caught. So they're very sneaky about it. They might spend weeks or even months building trust with a kid before they try anything really bad. They also target kids who seem lonely or sad, because those kids are more likely to want a new friend. If a kid is having problems at school, or fighting with their parents, or just feeling left out, these bad people will pretend to be the perfect friend who understands everything. The problem is made worse because on Roblox, it's really easy for anyone to create an account and start playing immediately. Unlike some other games or websites, you don't need to prove who you are or how old you are to join most Roblox games. So a bad grown-up can pretend to be a 10-year-old kid in about 2 minutes. Another big issue is that many of the games on Roblox aren't actually games. They're more like chat rooms where people just hang out and talk. Some of these have names that sound innocent, but they're really just places where people go to have conversations. This makes it even easier for bad people to find kids to talk to. The saddest part of all this is that it's affecting real kids and real families. There have been court cases where parents are suing Roblox because their children were hurt by people they met on the platform. These aren't made-up stories. They're real situations where kids were tricked and their families were hurt. But remember, understanding this problem is the first step to staying safe from it. Now that we understand the problem, let's talk about what the people who run Roblox are trying to do to fix it. Imagine you're the principal of the world's biggest school with 111 million students, and you need to make sure all of them are safe every single day. That's basically the job that Roblox has, and it's incredibly difficult. Roblox has created something called Sentinel, which is like having a super smart robot teacher that can read every single message that every single player sends, all at the same time. This robot teacher is powered by artificial intelligence, AI, which means it's a computer program that's been taught to recognize when people are saying things they shouldn't say. Think of Sentinel like a really good hall monitor that never gets tired, never goes to lunch, and can be in millions of places at once. Every time someone types a message in Roblox, Sentinel reads it instantly and decides, is this message safe, or is this something that might hurt a kid? Sentinel has been taught to look for certain words and phrases that bad people often use. For example, if someone says, "Keep this a secret from your family," or "I wish you were younger," Sentinel knows these are things that bad people say to kids. When it sees messages like this, it can automatically ban the person who sent them. But Sentinel isn't just looking for obvious bad words. It's also looking for patterns. For example, if a brand new account immediately starts trying to be friends with lots of young players, that's suspicious. Or if someone is asking a lot of personal questions, like, "What's your real name?" or "What school do you go to?" That's a red flag. Roblox also has different safety settings based on how old players say they are. If you tell Roblox you're under 13, you automatically get extra protection. You can't share personal information, you can't use voice chat, and there are limits on who can message you privately. It's like having training wheels on a bike. Extra protection while you're learning to be safe online. For players who say they're 13 and older, Roblox has something called age verification. This means if you want to access certain features, you have to prove you're really the age you say you are. Kind of like showing an ID card to get into a movie that's rated PG-13. Roblox also employs thousands of human moderators. These are real people whose job it is to watch for problems that the AI might miss. Think of them as the human teachers working alongside the robot teacher. When Sentinel finds something suspicious, it can send it to these human moderators to take a closer look. The company has also created detailed rules about what's allowed and what's not allowed on their platform. These rules cover everything from what kinds of pictures you can upload to what words you're allowed to use in chat. Breaking these rules can result in warnings, temporary bans, or permanent bans from Roblox. But here's the tricky part. Roblox makes money when more people play their games. The company is owned by shareholders, people who invested money in the company and want to see it grow and make more money. Some people worry that if Roblox makes their safety rules too strict, fewer kids will want to play and the company will make less money. It's like trying to balance keeping everyone safe while also keeping everyone happy and engaged. This has led to some criticism of Roblox. Some people think the company cares more about making money than keeping kids safe. There have been lawsuits where families claim that Roblox knew about safety problems but didn't do enough to fix them because they were more worried about losing players. Roblox says this isn't true. They point out that they spend millions of dollars every year on safety measures, and they employ more than 30 people just to work on trust and safety issues. They also work with organizations like the National Center for Missing, Exploited Children to help catch bad people and rescue kids who might be in danger. The company has also been working on new technologies to make Roblox safer. For example, they're testing systems that can detect when someone is trying to share contact information, like phone numbers or social media usernames, even if they try to hide it by using spaces or special characters. But even with all these safety measures, problems still happen. Why? Because the bad people are constantly trying to find new ways around the safety rules. It's like a never-ending game of cat and mouse. As soon as Roblox blocks one method that bad people use, they come up with a new method. Another challenge is that Roblox has to follow different laws in different countries around the world. What's considered appropriate for kids in one country might be different in another country. This makes it even harder to create safety rules that work everywhere. Despite all these challenges, Roblox continues to invest in safety, but many people think it's not enough, and that's where our next chapter comes in. Sometimes when grown-ups see a problem and feel like the people in charge aren't fixing it fast enough, they decide to try to help themselves. That's exactly what happened with Roblox. Some people became like volunteer detectives, trying to catch the bad people who were hurting kids on the platform. These volunteer detectives are mostly young adults who are really good with computers and care a lot about keeping kids safe. They work kind of like undercover police officers, but they're just regular people doing this on their own time. They create fake accounts on Roblox, pretend to be kids, and see if any bad grown-ups try to trick them. One of the most famous of these volunteer detectives is a YouTuber who goes by the name Schlep. He and his team would spend hours on Roblox, pretending to be young kids and waiting for bad people to approach them. When someone did try to groom them, they would record everything and then expose these bad people in YouTube videos. These videos became very popular because people were shocked to see how many bad people were actually on Roblox trying to hurt kids. Schlep's videos would often get millions of views, and many parents started watching them to understand what dangers their children might face online. But Schlep and others like him didn't just make videos. They also tried to help in other ways. They would collect evidence about bad people and send it to the police and the FBI. They created detailed reports showing patterns of abuse on Roblox. They even tried to contact Roblox directly to warn them about specific bad actors they had found. Some of these volunteer detectives went even further. They would try to meet the bad people in real life, kind of like the TV show To Catch a Predator. They would arrange to meet someone who had been trying to groom who they thought was a child. But instead of a kid showing up, it would be these adult volunteers with cameras. At first, many people thought these volunteers were heroes. Parents were grateful that someone was trying to protect their kids when they felt like Roblox wasn't doing enough. The volunteers were getting lots of praise online and their videos were going viral. But then, things got complicated. In 2024, Roblox sent a cease and desist letter to Schlep. This is a legal document that basically says, "Stop doing what you're doing, or we'll sue you." Roblox told Schlep he had to stop making his investigation videos and stop trying to catch predators on their platform. Why would Roblox try to stop people who were helping to catch bad guys? The company explained that what these volunteers were doing was actually dangerous and could make the problem worse, not better. First, Roblox pointed out that these volunteers weren't real police officers. They didn't have proper training on how to safely investigate crimes. When regular people try to do police work, they can accidentally mess up real police investigations or put themselves in danger. Second, when these volunteers tried to meet bad people in real life, they were putting themselves at serious risk. What if the bad person brought a weapon? What if they got violent? Some of these volunteer detectives are pretty young themselves, barely adults, and they could get seriously hurt trying to confront dangerous criminals. Third, Roblox was worried about legal problems. If someone got hurt during one of these amateur investigations that started on Roblox, the company could get sued. It's like if kids got hurt playing a dangerous game on a school playground. Even if the school didn't create the game, they might still get in trouble for allowing it to happen. But the biggest problem was that some of these volunteer investigations might have been making it harder for real police to catch the bad people. When amateurs interfere with police work, they can accidentally destroy evidence or warn criminals that they're being watched. The cease and desist letter caused a huge controversy. Many people were angry at Roblox for trying to stop people who were trying to help kids. They felt like Roblox was more concerned about protecting their business than protecting children. Schlep and his supporters argued that they were only trying to help because Roblox wasn't doing enough to solve the problem themselves. They said that if Roblox was better at catching bad people, volunteers like them wouldn't need to exist. The situation got even more complicated when some politicians got involved. A congressman reached out to Schlep and other volunteer investigators, saying he wanted to help them continue their work. This added political pressure on Roblox to either allow the investigations to continue or do a much better job of solving the safety problems themselves. This whole situation shows how complex the problem really is. Everyone wants to protect kids, but people disagree about the best way to do it. Should companies like Roblox handle everything themselves? Should volunteers be allowed to help? Should the government step in with new laws? These are difficult questions that adults are still trying to figure out. Now that we understand the problem and what people are trying to do about it, let's talk about the most important part: how kids, parents, and families can stay safe while still enjoying games like Roblox. First, let's talk about what kids can do. The most important rule is the same one your parents probably taught you about real life. Don't talk to strangers. And definitely, don't trust strangers who want to be your special friend. On Roblox, this means being very careful about anyone who tries to become your friend too quickly, especially if they seem much older or if they know things that seem weird for a kid to know. Here are some warning signs that someone might be a bad person pretending to be a kid. They ask lots of personal questions like, "What's your real name? What school do you go to?" Or, "Where do you live?" Real kid friends don't usually ask these kinds of questions when you first meet them. They want to know personal things about your family, like whether your parents are home or what your family problems are. They try to get you to talk on other apps outside of Roblox, like giving you their phone number, Discord username, or Snapchat. They offer you expensive gifts in the game, or offer to buy you things in real life. They ask you to keep your friendship secret from your parents or family, and they say things like, "You're so mature for your age," or "I understand you better than your parents do." If anyone does any of these things, the best thing to do is stop talking to them immediately and tell a grown-up you trust, like your parents, a teacher, or another family member. It's not tattling or being mean. It's protecting yourself. For parents, There are lots of things you can do to keep your kids safer on Roblox. The most important thing is to learn about the platform yourself. You don't have to become an expert gamer, but you should understand basically how Roblox works and what your child is doing on it. Roblox has built-in parental controls that let you limit who your child can talk to, what games they can play, and whether they can spend money on the platform. You can set it up so your child can only chat with people on their friends list, or even turn off chat completely. Many safety experts recommend that parents regularly check their child's Roblox friends list and ask about any friends they don't recognize. You can also look at your child's chat history to see what kinds of conversations they're having. This isn't spying, it's parenting. It's also important to have ongoing conversations with your kids about online safety. Don't just have the talk once. Make it an ongoing discussion. Ask your kids about their online friends, what games they're playing, and whether anyone has ever made them feel uncomfortable. Some families establish rules like no private messaging with people you don't know in real life, or always ask permission before adding new friends. Others use Roblox's features to limit their child's account, so they can only play single-player games or only chat with real-life friends. One thing that experts recommend is teaching kids that it's always okay to tell a parent if something online makes them feel weird or uncomfortable, even if they're not sure if it's actually bad. It's better to report something that turns out to be harmless than to stay quiet about something that could be dangerous. But what about Roblox itself? What should the company be doing differently? Many safety experts think Roblox needs to be much more aggressive about age verification. Right now, it's too easy for adults to create accounts and pretend to be kids. If Roblox required everyone to verify their real age before creating an account, it would be much harder for bad people to trick kids. Some people think Roblox should remove chat features entirely for players under 13, or at least make it so young players can only use pre-written phrases instead of typing their own messages. This would make the games less fun for some kids, but it would also make them much safer. Others suggest that Roblox should be required to report suspicious behavior to police more quickly, or that they should face bigger penalties when bad things happen on their platform. Looking ahead, this problem isn't going to be solved by any one person or company. It's going to require kids understanding how to stay safe, parents being involved and informed, companies like Roblox investing more in safety measures, and law enforcement continuing to catch and prosecute bad people who hurt children. The most important thing to remember is that online safety is just like real-world safety. We don't avoid going outside because there might be dangerous people in the world. We learn how to be smart and safe. The same is true for the internet. With the right knowledge, tools, and adult support, kids can enjoy online games and communities while staying safe from people who might want to hurt them. The Roblox predator problem is serious, but it's not unsolvable. By working together, kids, parents, companies, and law enforcement, we can make the digital playground safer for everyone.